Cool. Do you need to authorize that?
Got it. There we go. Consider it authorized.
Authorized. Okay. Hello, welcome to episode 419 of the Self-Help Podcast with me, and my good pal Sean Orford. How are you, Sean?
I am good. Having a very interesting time.
Yeah, you're not too frustrated, or you're not too angry at kind of the world, or.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm picking up the anger that's going on with other people, and I mean it's been brewing for a while, but since the realization that we're not releasing lockdown, it seems to have gone whoopee. You know. Yeah.
Well, I was going to close. I'm just sat by the back door here, so I was going to close the door, but I think you should be able to pick up, hopefully our listeners with headphones, the kind of gentle tweeting of birds and what have you. So hopefully that will help with any kind of issues of rage.
Just relax.
Or frustration. We're going to talk about that today because it's summer's here and there's lots to look forward to, but it's kind of time of year and there's a lot going on where people might be feeling a bit frustrated and kind of have a lot of perhaps negative energy, which hopefully we'll describe, but also perhaps offer a kind of an antidote to those frustrations as well. That should be the goal, right, Sean?
Yeah, some self-help bits maybe.
Yes. So liveinthepresent.co.uk is the website, all the show notes and links, all previous episodes. And perhaps even more important than ever, it's important that I mentioned that if you put your email address in the box, you'll get not only weekly alerts for the show, but also free meditation files, morning and evening relaxation MP3s that have come in handy for thousands of people over the years. So knock yourself out. What you've been doing, Sean? How's life?
It's been very good. I mean, we have had some things that felt like quite normal days, that because we can have people around, and the weather's good, we've had people in the garden. This has been a bit like, oh, I've forgotten what this is like to have people around, kind of stuff. And that's been quite interesting and quite good. And it had that feeling of like things are really starting to change, and isn't it good? And I was picking that up around, and then it switched, didn't it, yesterday? So
I mean, not massively surprising. So kind of date this one. It's it's the 15th of June here. So we were in the UK due to for everything was going to open up next Monday on the 21st, which, looking at the case numbers creep up just when you don't want them to, it was kind of looking sort of obvious that might not be the case. And sure enough, the announcement was made last night that there's going to be a 4-week delay, just to kind of see how things pan out, which personally I can kind of understand a little bit, but obviously there's people in certain industries that have been preparing for things, and there's people that have been making bookings based on. So I don't know. I guess it's been a very unclear time for a lot of people on planet Earth and in the UK, and I can understand why people might be a bit cross. So what's been going on your phone and your emails, and how are people coping?
I've had a couple of people, one last night and then one here this morning, about being really, really angry. And the thing that surprises me, and the reason why I put this together, is that the people that I'm talking about are mild-mannered people. They're mild-mannered pillars of the community, the kind of normal people. And I'm starting to detect this kind of angered frustration. And the angered frustration is being aimed at the politicians at the moment. So the quote that I've used on the blog is that idea that all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, which was a line that came out of Animal Farm by George Orwell. But that idea that, when he wrote Animal Farm, it was a political piece that he was writing about our leaders. And it started off where we were all equal, everyone's equal. But then as the pigs, unfair to pigs, who were the leaders in Animal Farm, they started to do other things that weren't equal, that other people weren't allowed to do. And so it went from all animals are equal to some animals more equal than others. And then you just have to look at what's been going on. And this is what's being said back to me about, starts with Dominic Cummings and the famous Barnard Castle, because he can do things other people can't do. Then it's happened with Matt Hancock, and it's happened with Boris. It's happened with the guy that came in from Portugal the other day, And it's like these people appear to be seeing themselves as different and separate from the rest of society, so they don't have to apply to the same rules. And it's that kind of thing that is the basis of the anger that I'm seeing in these mild-mannered normal people, which is, why the hell should I, as a business person, listen to these liars who tell me one thing and then do something else themselves? And I stuck a quote at the top of the blog, which is an Orwell quote, and he said, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. And he wrote that many, many years ago. And I read that and I think, has anything changed? Like political language does manage to present what it wants to present in a way that's digestible to the people, and then can mean something completely different. We're seeing that a lot at the moment, and it's starting to affect people.
Yeah, no, and I guess, if you look at the messaging around COVID in the last couple of weeks, there were the warning signs were there in terms of the data, I guess, and the kind of case numbers, but also you can see how the powers that be start to kind of soften people up a little bit to the inevitable news. So it's not like last night came as a massive shock, because there were announcements made last week that kind of hinted that this might happen anyway. So I guess that's kind of a political choice, just to kind of prepare. But, you don't have to win over everyone, do you? You just have to kind of win over enough people, really, so that you haven't got riots on the streets. But I mean, I guess I don't want this to be too much of a negative episode, because I did just see a video before I came on this online about some skirmishes that are going on in London right now, and kind of journalists are being targeted and that kind of thing. So I'm conscious that we're getting into summer now, when the temperature is rising. We've got a big football tournament on the go, so there's people kind of out and about drinking, and it's kind of a bit of a recipe for trouble, isn't it? So what do we do? What do we do to prepare ourselves for that? Because we don't need to take part in it. We don't even need to kind of watch it necessarily or observe it. But what will you be doing, Sean, to kind of make sure you have a nice, relaxing summer? Or is now the time to riot? Should we? Is there a time to get across and set fire to things?
It's hard, isn't it? Because everybody is right from their point of view, and that's the problem in society. It's only any good when we can actually start talking to each other. And there was a lovely bit that I caught on the news feed about an Islamic man who had gone to the defense of some Jewish people that were being attacked in London. I think it was London, and it was seen as so extraordinary. It made headline news. Not like one person went to help somebody else. It was the fact that it was a Muslim helping a Jew. That was the kind of the thing. And to me, it was just like lovely people looking after each other, really. But we're at that point where it's so easy to turn everything into a negative. Political correctness has gone kind of crazy, so people can't say anything, and if they do say things, then that creates anger in people. The fact that people that are choosing to take the knee at a football match are now being booed by the crowd, which is like another expression of anger. Why are you on your knee? Kind of stuff. And then the people that are offended because they are on their knee because it's meaningful to them, and they're angry with the people that boo. It's like there's a lot of things going on at the moment that are feeding into the whole kind of anger cauldron.
Yeah, I I was a bit confused with that because I wasn't sure who was booing who, whether people were booing the booers or the booing the players, or
No, people were booing the players, and I think that actually it was Boris who said people should actually be cheering our players, not booing them. I think it was Boris said that. But the issues are, to me, that there is this, and I'm sure it's been fermented in the lockdown as well, that there's been a build-up of a head of steam. And you and I were talking about what do we do with it when we're angry, because it's the same for everybody. Everybody is angry at the moment. And I was saying I could kind of go for a run, do something physical. I might play my guitar. I might actually do some meditation. But one of the things that I do, which I shouldn't do, is there's times when anger comes up in me and I don't let it out. I push it down because it's kind of inappropriate at the moment to actually share the anger in that way. And I'm sure lots of people do that. A very good British characteristic of pushing it down, not letting it out. But that's okay. But it builds up to a head of steam until something bursts. Yeah. And then when something bursts, that's when the real problems begin. And in some ways, when the American lot with Trumpy decided to storm the Capitol building, they were the flames had been fed in them to build the anger to get them to go and do it. So that they were letting the anger out. But there's times when I do worry at the moment how close we're getting to that kind of stuff. How long are people going to be compliant and be good Brits? Or does it change? I don't know. I don't know. What do you do with your anger, Edward?
Well, yeah, luckily I don't have access to any firearms, so I'm not kind of.
But there'd be a lot of dead people around.
No, I'm sure not. Maybe a few tin cans on the wall or something like that. I guess I like to think in terms of like work stuff that I don't get angry about, but maybe frustrated about. I kind of have my commute, so traditionally I would process it on my way home when I'm riding my bike or that kind of thing. So yeah, a bit of physical exertion is good, but I kind of avoid anger and confrontation a lot of the time. So I'm not sure whether it's because I'm good at just letting it dissipate and disappear into thin air, or whether I am internalizing it all. So I guess we'll find out in the next 20 or 30 years. I like to think I'm quite good at just taking a deep breath and letting it pass over. I've got 2 kids, so kids can be massively frustrating to live with. So sometimes I vent my anger verbally. I'll shout at my kid, at the lads for doing something daft, or but even that's relatively rare. So yeah, I guess we'll find out. Really, I guess I internalize a lot of it, and then I'm quite good at I've got this place up in Northumberland where we talked about last week, didn't we? Our happy places. I spend a month each year by the beach and kind of away from the hustle and bustle. So I like to think that's quite good at anything that's built up inside is that's where it kind of drifts off into the North Sea, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not too frustrated about the not being able to holiday overseas, and I can see why some people. I've been to Mallorca a few years ago, and I get the appeal of that. So if that's something you're used to doing once, twice, 3 times a year as part of your kind of ritual, I can understand why you'd be missing it, to be honest, because it's an amazing thing to do. Fortunately, we've got a life where we have a place in the UK where we can get to for the time being, at least. But it is busier. Last summer, through the restrictions, Northumberland was a lot busier than we were used to. So, that was something to get used to. But yeah,
I'd say that several people have said to me, "Oh, we went to Northumberland and we really, really liked it," to the point where someone I was talking to the other day is in the process of buying a property not that far from your place up there.
Okay.
And lots of people are discovering the undiscovered part of Northumberland. Maybe we should stop talking about it on the podcast so there'll be more people going.
I know. I was watching the G7 stuff in Cornwall, or Biden and Boris Johnson and all the big wigs. Cornwall what an advert for Cornwall. The app looked absolutely amazing, didn't it? I mean,
it's gorgeous down there.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
So yeah, go to Cornwall. Don't go to Northumberland. You wouldn't like it.
Well, you could do both.
So yeah, ultimately, for people that are feeling frustrated right now, and as we head into, well, hopefully it'll be a good, decent-ish summer in the UK, but who knows what autumn and winter holds. But are we just talking about the usual stuff in terms of relaxation and meditation and just learning to watch the river pass us by rather than jumping in and getting involved?
I think that in general, yes, but for many people, this is a different order of events, in the sense that people are seeing their lives, and the people I'm talking to are seeing their lives as on a critical knife edge, in the sense that if they're not able to get their businesses functioning again, they're at that potential of losing their house and maybe their family and all kinds of stuff, that people are at that edge point where they've kind of got themselves up to this point where they were going to be able to start again. And there are people that have kind of ordered stock in that they now can't use.
Yeah. Because
it's now been extended out further. So I'm seeing a lot of people who are mightily angry. And who should they be angry with? Should it be the virus? Should it be, the vaccine companies? Should it be the parliament? The politicians, the government? Who is it that we should be angry with? But what happens is people are reaching out to vent their anger. And if you look at the stats for the increase in domestic violence and social abuse, that kind of stuff that's going on, people are venting on anyone around them. Yeah, unless they have an awareness. And if someone is just feeling fundamentally angry inside themselves and you tread on their corns accidentally, you're likely to get this pent-up anger dumped on you. So it feels like we're at a bit of a difficult point. And yes, learning to watch the river go by is a good one. And if you can kind of whistle a happy tune and let the mad people be mad, that's great. But sometimes you have to actively do things to disperse your anger. And if you go down the gym, you will see people that are pulling weight, and they're pulling weight because they are angry, not because they're enjoying the feeling on their muscles kind of stuff,
Yep.
And sometimes we need to do that. Go and do a bit of combat, boxing or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. What's your resource then, Sean? What have you got lined up?
Well, mine is a book which I've had for many years, and you can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link up, but it's a book called Rage, and it deals with strategies for dealing with deep anger, and it's looking at jealousy, raging at partners, road rage, tantrums, telephone rage. There's loads of case studies in there. It gives you a lot of insights into what you can do with it. And it's like raging with your child and adolescent. There's a section here that you might find benefit.
Well, yeah, I might next time around. In fact, next week I'm going to put it in my diary. I might come round and actually record one face to face with you. What do you reckon?
Oh my God! Could I cope with it? I think that would be a good experiment. We could do it in the garden, couldn't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, cool. My resource is something, hopefully an antidote to the rage. It's an animated film called My Neighbor Totoro. It's on Netflix. It's Japanese.
So it's not actually your neighbor.
No. Totoro is like this mythical creature. It's quite a bit of a cult classic animated movie, and I only discovered these Japanese movies in lockdown, and it's a kid's movie, but you can watch it and appreciate it, and as an adult, and the music and the story is just so. I put it on in the background all the time because it's so peaceful, and highly recommended. And that's a good antidote to rage, I think. Just
that reminds me of the whole Japanese concept of wa that we did on the course, didn't we? It's like wa, WA means personal harmony, or it means harmony. So you have community wa, personal wa. Right. In a community where people live, especially when they had the paper houses, so you could hear people raging in the house next door. it was against the bylaws of the community for you to disturb the wa, the harmony of the people next door.
Wow.
So, and you could be penalised and punished for disturbing the wa.
Disturbing the
And
wa.
that was something that we should introduce into our communities now. That if your street has its own harmony, if people come in and disturb that harmony, they should be something. There should be done to maybe stop them doing that or whatever.
Yeah, some kind of little. Yeah, they don't have to be strung up or anything. Just some kind of little intervention, just to kind of bring everyone back into line. Hey.
Yeah, just break their legs gently, whatever.
Cool. All right, Sean. Well, yeah, I might see you in person next week, depending how we go. But yeah, thanks for your time, man.
Okay, that's good.
See you next
take
time.
Care and be happy. Yeah?
You too. Cheers.
And maintain your wa and be relaxed and calm
at all times. Good advice. All right. See you later.
You take care. See
Cheers.
you now. Bye. Bye.